Black people make everything better. Now that we've gotten rid of the racist, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. I'm Dallas, and I'm here to talk about Blindspotting.
I'm Gaby. I'm just here for the vibes.
I'm Colin, and what? You two didn't do the homework, and for once, I did. What happened?
I did some of it.
Dallas did half the homework, and I was like, homework.
Unfortunately, in this country, 50% is an F.
Yeah,
it's true. And I'm Demi, and Disney, just because I went to see The Little Mermaid doesn't mean that me and you aren't still beefing, at least me and the corporate side of your company. Welcome to another episode
Those
of
are the people you gave your money to.
Oh, I didn't pay for my ticket. I've got this thing called AMC Subs. So.
Okay, so you gave your money to a different corporation. We cool.
Yeah, AMC's chilling.
Yeah, but AMC's like trying to keep theaters alive.
Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture related items. Today, you guys can probably guess, we will be talking about The Little Mermaid and Blindspotting.
Woo!
That is true, and we're all here, so I don't need to make up any reasons for why so-and-so's not here.
I mean, we didn't last time, but then Colin wasn't there because he didn't hit record on his...
It was all messed up. It was all messed up. I had so many things directed at Colin that just didn't make sense when I listened back.
Aww.
It's like, why did you talking to Colin?
His entire 10-minute take, gone.
Before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe because Pride Month is starting.
Yay.
Depending on the day, 1 to 3 people on this podcast are part of the LGBT plus community.
Depending on
I love
the
that
day.
it's 1 to 3.
Yeah, depending on
the day.
Depending on how Gaby's feeling.
Don't really identify, but fine.
Oh my god.
Have there been any pictures of Florence Pugh recently? That will tell us.
Yes, those days that do it.
No comment.
All right. What are we starting with?
Let's start with, we start with movies here. So we're going to start with The Little Mermaid. Which
Start with movies here.
We do.
We serve food here, sir.
This is a Wendy's. All right, The Little Mermaid, which is directed by Rob Marshall. That dude made Chicago, which won Best Picture. He also made Mary Poppins Returns, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and I'm missing something. I'm missing several things. He also choreographed the 1997 Cinderella, which we all love. The movie stars Halle Bailey, Jonah Hauer-King, Melissa McCarthy, Javier Bardem, Daveed Diggs, Awkwafina, and Jacob Tremblay. And the synopsis, for those of you who somehow missed the 1989 version of this movie, a young mermaid makes a deal with a sea witch to trade her beautiful voice for human legs so that she can discover the world above water and impress her prince.
See, she risked it all for a man.
You know what? You know what? No, this time around, I'm like, girl, I'm with you.
That's an interesting synopsis because I feel like there's a whole half of the movie before that happens.
That's true. It's so true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, girl, this time around, I get it.
You do? Ooh.
Because if
I
spoilers?
don't, but all right.
hey, if a man sang Wild Uncharted Waters about me, yes.
Well, won't get into spoilers, but there's an interesting bit in this one that I felt like changed the story in a way that they didn't intend to, but then they got back on the right track anyway. It was weird. Anyway, there was some specific wording.
Initial thoughts.
Yeah, this is another live-action Disney remake. To me, you're not getting anything out of it that you didn't get out of the original, and some of the stuff that it does that the original did, I think it does slightly less good. So Eric got something to do, though. He got a song. It was not great. I was expecting better, but, you know, this, do you like The Little Mermaid? You'll like this. Do you not like The Little Mermaid? I don't think you'll like this. There you go.
Colin, I have a question for you.
What up, dog?
Just for clarification. This isn't like a hashtag not my Ariel situation with you, right?
Oh, not at all. I don't care about the old one either. I just feel like there were moments in this where I was like, yeah, the original did do that better. And you just didn't.
I thought this was great. They didn't lie when they said that this is the best live action remake since Cinderella. And the thing that I love about Cinderella was it felt magical. And this also feels magical. Honestly, sitting in the theater, you would have thought I had never seen the original movie because it felt like watching a completely new movie in certain aspects.
Nice.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I think that there are certain things that they did with the story, mainly delving into it and giving it more depth that was better than the original movie.
Depth ocean.
Diving deep.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the story that we know. But plus some, you know. Eric gets a life outside of Ariel, which allows him to actually be a three-dimensional character and not just a stock prince.
Yeah, because he was just going off his pretty looks and dimples.
Vibes.
Like,
just vibes.
It was just, I was like, he has a nice smile, I guess. You're going to risk it all for that?
Yeah. But they gave him the Princess Jasmine treatment. Ursula is given more of a connection to Ariel and Triton, so there feels like a stronger motivation for her villainy and not just, I happened upon this princess who wants to go to land and incidentally, let's just mess up her life. The romance between Ariel and Eric is given way more depth, and by giving them more to do together, there is a lot more of a bond.
Okay.
I actually think it's interesting what they've done. Kind of reminds me of the phrase as above, so below. There's also this weird, not weird, there's a symbolic thing sometimes in mythology where the sky is the sea. And so I think it's very interesting because the issues that Ariel deals with down in the water are reflected back on land with the things that Eric goes through on land.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was a very good way of expanding upon the story. I think the second act of this movie might be better than the original film's second act. However, I do think the third act is rushed because it takes about the same amount of time as the animated film's third act, despite the live action film being longer.
So like, I was watching the movie and it was getting pretty far along. I was like, okay, so are they not gonna do the thing at the end that are they not gonna? And then they were like, oh yeah, we're doing it real fast. And I was like, oh okay, sure.
Yeah, it was like
a box to check, but it wasn't like
like the main attraction.
It was interesting because like the love story aspect I feel like is so much better this time around, but then we get to the third act and I'm just like, this is basically the exact same third act with the same amount of timing, but because the movie is longer, you needed to also elongate the third act so that the pacing doesn't suddenly feel like we're rushing through this entire last
so
part
they
of this
kind
movie.
of gave it like a romantic comedy treatment where like it's more about the characters spending time together and less about the like emotional climax.
Less about the action climax, I guess.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it doesn't, I don't know if the original, like, it doesn't need the action climax. Like, they put it in there and I was like, okay, but you could have done without this and solved it a different way. You could have just done the, what's her name, Vanessa thing, and I think it would have been fine.
Oh, Vanessa.
What happened with that?
No, we'll go.
Okay, you're gonna get there. Okay.
We're you know what? Let's just jump into acting.
Okay.
Halle Bailey, this girl right here, spectacular,
Nice.
stunning.
Okay.
I know the races are mad because she's perfect as Ariel. Just when she's speaking, when she's not speaking, the performance that she's given with just her eyes. One of the things that I've always praised about Lily James's performance as Cinderella is that she has this balance between reality and fairy tale in the performance. I think Tessa Thompson explained it best where she said that those types of archetypes are hard to do and have it feel honest and not feel like you're playing something. But like Halle Bailey is like, no, I believe you. You are this character. And she's masterful at it. She perfectly captures who Ariel is while also adding to the personality, I think. And I can honestly say that I can't think of a single actress who would have done as good of a job as she did. I don't know if anybody else would have been as perfect as Halle Bailey is for this.
Nice. I love when racists are angry.
I know. Me too. It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Oh, never mind. You'll get there. I was going to ask about the singing.
Colin, do you have anything to say about Halle Bailey and her stunning performance?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I didn't notice all of the acting nuances that you do, so I feel like, yeah, she was cool. Black people make everything better, though.
Sure,
some of those songs, like,
Part of Your World?
This was meant for a black woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was better.
It's just better. It's just better. She and Jonah Howard King, who plays Eric, they have fantastic chemistry that you can feel throughout the film, which, thank God, because this is a romance. If they had no chemistry,
Be like, oof,
yikes.
this is rough.
This is rough. He also plays a really good Eric, and he's a far more interesting Eric than the one in the animated film, as I've already said. Melissa McCarthy proves to be a fantastic choice as Ursula for anyone who was in doubt, like I was.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, why isn't Lizzo here? Like, I wanted her.
Melissa McCarthy is comedic. She's creepy. She's villainous, and she's clearly having a lot of fun.
Speaking of having fun, important question.
Yeah, I don't think she throws that ass in a circle.
Damn it!
But she did shake them titties in the screen. So.
Okay, that you know what? We'll settle for that.
1 for 2 ain't bad. Those are the qualifications for Ursula. Throw that ass in the circle. shaking titties on the screen.
But you know what? I'm planning to see it again tomorrow, so maybe I just missed the.
Yeah, maybe you missed it.
Maybe I missed it.
The ass throw.
David Diggs and Awkwafina play off each other really well.
Nice.
David has really great comedic timing as Sebastian, and almost to the point where I wish that he wasn't using an accent in this movie. I almost think.
Yeah, the accent took me out a bit.
Yeah.
She got legs.
Like
Yeah.
I almost feel like he would have just been funnier if they had just let him be Like, he's funny anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But
David is funny.
he might have been funnier if he could just be David.
Okay.
I get that.
But he still does a great job, especially, because most people don't like the way that Sebastian looks. Like, he's
Yes.
he's doing his thing
Oh, that's good.
for
That's
a
good.
creature that nobody likes looking at.
Yeah, it's like I didn't realize that crabs were this uninteresting and low-key ugly.
Wow. Okay, you don't have to be mean.
I said
Even the
low-key. I said low-key.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
Still,
It's a little better.
Jacob Tremblay is adorable as Flounder, and I kind of wish that he had a more substantial role in this movie.
Aw.
That was, man, the Jacob Tremblay as Flounder, like, he was good. I wish I had not had to look at Flounder for that entire movie.
Those two characters, Flounder and Sebastian.
Sebastian was fine. I was down with Sebastian. I was like, yeah, he's a crab. It's cool. Flounder, I was just like, please don't make me look at this.
Oh, but he sounded adorable.
He did.
Does he still have unexplained superpowers?
No,
Like dragging
he's too
statues?
small.
Okay.
He's too
He doesn't
small.
move a statue somehow.
I was
into
watching our review and we were like,
How is he doing these things?
what's he doing this?
He's too small to do those things.
Okay.
But the supporting cast does a great job as well. Javier Bardem is really good when he gets to play off of Halle Bailey, and Jessica Alexander, who was there for 2 whole seconds.
Is she her mom?
No.
Oh.
She is making the most of her time, and she is serving as Vanessa. Oh boy.
Oh, that's Vanessa. Okay, got it.
Oh,
Jessica
Vanessa.
Alexander. She's there for 3-4 minutes maybe, and
Damn, they
the whole-
really gave it the treatment.
She ate though. There were no crumbs left. That girl was crazy.
So we
Crazy.
can officially confirm that it is not Chloe Bailey.
It is not Chloe
Oh,
Bailey.
wow.
Thirst trap in there.
It
as
is.
Vanessa.
It is
Stop
Jessica
it.
Alexander. And she does a great job. I'd love to see her in some other stuff. Also, if you go see this movie, look out for the Jodie Benson cameo.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know what she looks like.
I know what she looks like. I'll
Okay.
show you a photo.
Cool. I know her voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her voice is iconic.
So that's the cast. The soundtrack still slaps. Slaps even more in certain areas.
Nice.
Makes sense.
I
A
mean,
little more melanin.
Does David rap?
no. Yes.
He does.
He does.
You can tell. It's funny because, like, I remember hearing, like, oh, Lin-Manuel wrote lyrics for this. You can tell. The
Yeah.
I
one
heard
rap, you can, like, oh, that
I
he
heard
wrote
it
that.
feels very Lin-Manuel.
You can tell
It
on all the
does.
songs that Lin-Manuel wrote that they were definitely written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He has a certain.
He has a style.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halle Bailey is effortlessly singing her way through this soundtrack, leaving nothing, no crumbs, nothing. Her Part of Your World might be better than the original. I may have stopped breathing in the theater.
Damn.
Yo, the audience applaud. They
Oh.
applauded after she finished singing Part of Your World,
Wow.
okay? And then the reprises for the song are gorgeous, and they gave her another reprise for it. She has a song called Vanessa's Trick, and it is addictive, and it proves her acting range through just her singing voice.
Vanessa's a trick or Vanessa's trick?
Vanessa's Trick, but Vanessa is also a trick, so
I wanted to clarify. I haven't seen it. I gotta ask these questions.
both are true.
All right.
Melissa McCarthy does her thing with Poor Unfortunate Souls. I didn't know Melissa McCarthy could sing like that. I'm gonna say it.
Me either. So this is interesting to find out that she
Yeah.
sings.
The rest of the soundtrack may be hit or miss depending on how attached you are to the way the original songs sound.
Mm.
And I know that some of the new songs have been a miss for some people, but I enjoyed them. I really liked Wild Uncharted Waters and For the First Time. Like I said, I get it.
I was gonna say,
Just kidding.
Not that one, no.
No.
Was that the one, the Thought song? Because that
Yes.
took me some time to get used to just that concept. Like,
When you
once
say
they
Thought-
started doing it,
It's after she's already lost her voice, but she
so
has
can't
another song.
sing,
Oh, thought like thinking.
so it's all
Yes.
in her
it's
thoughts.
It's
Not like
not
that
like
over
she's
there.
throwing S.
No, that's Vanessa.
I was gonna say, does Vanessa have
I
a
was
thought
like,
song?
or it's Ursula.
Right, she
Ursula.
might have a thought song.
No, yeah, it's an inner monologue song. So she,
Oh, okay.
but I think that with the way that they do it visually is really good. I actually think that song works a lot better if you're actually watching the film versus if you're not. Because I've seen people react to the song without having seen the film, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work that well if you're not actually watching what she's doing on screen.
Got it.
Yeah, because that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's like This Is America. If you don't watch the video, it's just like, what is this?
Well, no, see, I feel like This Is America
Mm.
still somewhat works.
Yeah,
But
because
I feel like part
Nothing
of
he
the
says
point
in
of
that
that
song reflects like the stuff in the video. But this isn't about that.
well, yeah, but
I'm digressing.
like
the
this
thing is
one, the
for
whole point is like, what is she doing? What is she experiencing? And if you're not seeing that
Right, it's from a movie. That makes sense.
and her joy at what she's experiencing, it doesn't really.
but also her dismay at what she's experiencing as well.
That too.
And there's also a moment where the song like kind of cuts off. So if you're not watching the movie and you're not seeing what's happening on screen, it's just like, why did it suddenly
what
go
was that?
silent?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Why is she no longer singing? She just stopped speaking mid-phrase.
Got it.
So
Question: do they still do that crap song with that?
no, but
psychopath
Whatcha
chef?
is not in this movie,
Okay.
and neither is Daughters of Triton.
Oh, okay. Oh, how were the Daughters of Triton? Because I know like one of the actresses from Bridgerton is like a sister. Like,
Yeah, I mean they're not in it much. I like what they do with them though.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of what they do with them because I think it adds to what they're doing with Ariel
Okay.
in the story, rather than just having them. Oh, the sisters are here at the beginning and now they're gone.
got it.
Last note that I have is like the movie looks very cinematic. The cinematography is beautiful in some places more than others, I will say.
Which like the other movie was too. Like, there's some parts of Little Mermaid animated where you're like, they had a budget for that scene, and then they were like, and not for this one.
No, I also am just a huge fan of anytime anyone is filming the ocean. I think the ocean is such a beautiful thing to capture on film, and this one has so many beautiful shots of the ocean and people in front of the ocean and waves and all sorts of. I love that.
And the ocean is popping right now.
It is.
Black Panther went to the ocean. Avatar went to the ocean.
That's what we do, man.
Yeah.
It's ocean time.
I think the CGI is great for the most part. There might be some uncanny valley moments for people, but I like how fast we're advancing the under the ocean visual effects, like we were just saying.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's developing and that it's getting better. Also, small detail, I think that Ariel's red hair looks far better in motion on screen than it does in still photos.
Okay.
When you can see the different colors of red that are in her hair, like it looks so much better and it's so pretty. Highly recommend watching this movie in IMAX because everything that is done under the water is in IMAX. It's such a good use of the aspect ratio. I had a great time. I loved it. I came out of it immediately wanting to watch it again. It's one of the best Disney live action movies that they've done. I'm still like trying to debate. I'm like, is it Cinderella or is it The Little Mermaid? Which one's better? Because I have such a strong attachment to Cinderella, but The Little Mermaid is definitely fighting its way for number one. And Halle Bailey, I came out of the movie and I was like, Lily James now has a competition as my favorite live action Disney princess because Halle Bailey did such a phenomenal job as well. So I had a great time. If you like the original movie, you'll probably love this. If you didn't, I don't know if this will help at all. And if you don't like the live action movies, you might like this one. I've seen a lot of people who have said that they've had no interest in these live action movies, but that they like this one. So maybe.
All right. Good to know. Yeah, I usually just, if I cared about the original, I'll go check out the live action. So I didn't.
Okay.
The movie starts off with a quote on screen that says, "But a mermaid has no tears and therefore she suffers so much more," which is a quote from Hans Christian Andersen. I'm assuming from the actual
Which is funny
original
because
story.
she absolutely has tears in this movie.
No, she
Underwater
doesn't.
and above. Yes, she
No,
does.
she doesn't.
Her eyes are brimming with the ghosts of her past multiple times.
Her eyes get watery, but she never actually sheds a tear. And that's why when we get to the last moments of the movie, it's so effective what they do with it. It pays off very, very well. As soon as I saw that quote, I spent the whole movie paying attention to whether or not anybody is crying under the water. They're not.
Gabby, you're a doctor, basically. If you don't have
Not even
tears,
close.
will your eyes get watery, or is that like a tear duct thing?
I have no idea because I'm not a
It's a tear duct thing, I think.
I would think those are the tears. Like, I don't think it's the gravity that makes it a tear.
Oh, wait.
Like, where does the water come from if you didn't have tear ducts?
Then I don't think you can cry. I was thinking like what moistens your eyes, but that's something different. That's like mucus that you produce.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. Actually, let me tell you exactly what it is.
No.
So it's probably if you have tear ducts, you can cry. If you don't, you can't.
Also, audience, the reason I say Gabby's basically a doctor is because regardless of what we're watching or talking about, Gabby will come up with a random scientific fun fact. Like, we've never watched eels have sex.
We haven't.
That was such a
And Gabby knows that.
fantastic fun fact. If you guys haven't seen the reaction to the original Little Mermaid, please go watch that after this review.
We as in like society, not like this group. We're not, it's not a thing that we do.
Yes, like scientists.
Anyway, speaking of black people, Blindspotting.
Hey, Blindspotting. Oh, I love it. It's the reason I'm here.
No, it's not. You would have been here
You were gonna
regardless.
been here regardless.
Let me make my narrative.
No.
Blindspotting is created by Rafael, Casal, and close personal best friend of the podcast, David Diggs.
Woo!
Who also starred in The Little Mermaid.
That's true. It's a David. It stars Jasmine Cephas Jones, Jalen Barron, Candace Nicholas Littman, Benjamin Earl Turner, Atticus Woodward, Rafael Casal, and Helen Hunt. This is season 2. IMDb summarizes season 1, so I'm not going to bother with that. It's still amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's still great.
Yeah.
8 more episodes of Heat,
Perfection.
half of which are directed by Rafael Casal, apparently.
Damn,
Really?
he was
Yeah.
putting
Wow.
in work.
He directed the first 2 of the Western episode and the finale.
Yeah.
Okay.
He directed quite a number of these. Every time we get more Blindspotting, I'm reminded why this is like one of the best movies / TV series like
It's
of
so
right
good.
now. It's so good.
Like
Oh my
even
gosh.
the stuff that like I don't love, there's nothing about it I dislike. It's just like I would like more of this. Like, you
Yeah.
know, there was an aspect of like Earl's story that I wish the ending hadn't been what I wish there'd been more to it. But that's
Okay.
not the worst thing in the world because I feel like there might be more to it in season 3.
Right.
So like it's cool, you know?
I feel you.
Yeah, this show is the perfect balance of comedy and drama. Like
Yeah,
the
just like the movie.
the jokes are hilarious, the drama hits, the raps and the dance sequences are also well done. Like the show is art. It is art.
It's
The
and it's-
finale rap was
It's artsy,
Ooh.
and it's like artsy in a way that gives me hope because they do things in here that if executed differently might just make me roll my eyes. Like if it wasn't by them, like certain things, it's like, you know, we're having a conversation and you start pirouetting in the background
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's like, if you told me this, if you described this to me, I'd be like, I don't know if that's going to work for me, but they make it work because they do it well. And
See,
it
that's what's
resonates.
interesting is for me, sometimes it doesn't work. Like there's some of the dance sequences that I still don't understand like what they're trying to do with them.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate that they're doing it. And it's not like if half the episode were wordless interpretive dance, I'd be like, what? I can't do this. But they do it like a little bit and then it's
Mhm.
like, okay. And the episode's back to the normal pace of the episodes. If that wasn't your vibe, you're fine.
Yeah, it's a high risk, high reward thing for me because sometimes it's like, all right, y'all moving boxes, but then
I
sometimes
liked that
we
one.
get
I did
it was
too.
very well done. But it's
I
like,
really liked it.
I was like, what's going on? But then sometimes you get stuff like all of the musical ones, all of the spoken word, all of the rap, the ones that
Mhm.
are very narrative driven, they hit hard, especially when Earl is involved.
Well, I want to
Earl is my boy.
Yo.
I want to say what I said last season, which was that I loved the dancing portion of it because it brings Ashley into the show. Like, because for me, I'm like the spoken word and the rap, that's like my mind goes to Colin and Miles. That's
Mhm.
their thing. And that comes into the show because it's created by the same people. We're
Right.
bringing it in because that's David and Rafael. That's what they do. But bringing in the dance brings in who Ashley is because Ashley's the one who loves dance. Like they make that a point in the first season. And so
Okay.
I love that is her element and that
Yeah.
is her representation of seeing the world. And this season, there's like a good balance of the two. And I think that's a great idea because this season has a lot more of Miles in there. So now these two worlds are now colliding and clashing.
Mhm.
And so we get both sides of that.
And Ashley had one of my favorites in the episode that, to be honest, is my least favorite episode of the season.
Is it the broken... what's it called? It's the Ballad of the... I have it open too.
Okay, I don't actually know what the piece is called, but the episode is Karate Kiss. When she's drunk and she's going home, she starts going into that verse, and I was like, "Oh, Ashley's getting the verse," and she killed it.
It's the Ballad of the Broken.
Okay, yeah,
And that's her second verse of the season, actually, because she had one in the first episode,
she did.
which was 9 months later.
And even in the first season, when she's breaking everything, she has a verse going through.
She has a
that.
couple
she
of
does,
verses in
yeah.
the first season.
She also does one, I think, like in the courthouse. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. She has a few of them in the first season. I really liked Helen
And
Hunt's
then-
verse.
I was gonna say, even
Rainey
Rainey
got
gets
one.
to drop some
Rainey
bars.
got
That was cool.
Rainey dropped some bars.
Rainey's is very
got a
much
spoken
a
word.
spoken word, not
Oh,
a rap.
okay, got it.
So don't expect
Still.
Helen Hunt to be out here spitting.
Okay, because I was like,
It's
excuse
on
you
the
know me,
soundtrack
Helen?
though.
Hold
so
on,
like,
Dallas. Hold on,
you know.
Dallas. She is spitting. She's just not rapping.
That's the thing. When I say spitting, I mean like Earl. Like,
Yo.
yeah, it's
That's the
It's
thing though, is
interesting.
if Helen Hunt came out with like an Earl one, that might just be distracting more than it would be.
It might
Like
be
when
too
Earl
much.
does it, it's like, oh hell yeah, I know
might
I'm in
be
for
like
some
when
heat.
Natalie
If she
Portman
starts
rapped.
like
Yeah.
spitting, I'm like, yo.
San Quentin Blues from the finale, bruh.
Oh my
perfection.
God.
Amazing.
I've listened to it like
So
3
good.
times since then, and I'm just like,
it took me forever to finish that episode because I had to keep going back because it was just so good.
it's so good.
And I think that is the peak version of narrative and art coming together perfectly, because that one, the way it starts, the story it's telling, everything about it works.
I don't know, because there was also the earlier in the season when they're teaching Sean about history. That's also like,
True.
that's really good.
That's a really good one too for what the episode is doing at the time.
See, I feel like the finale one means a little bit more to me because of how personal it is to the characters.
Same. It's Earl and Miles both going through that together. And even the way that he introduces it when he says, we'll go together because we were there at the same time.
I think at the
And
same time because we did time at the same time.
Yeah, we did time at the same time. So they're rapping together. They're in the same place that they were in. It's just like,
but the one with Sean, I think I always think back to, though, because it was so unexpected. That's not a scene that I ever would have imagined to be on any television show.
Fair. Yeah. And the episode was so good.
It's so good.
The way that Miles teaches Sean about white privilege.
It's amazing. Oh my goodness.
Give me the goat. Give me the goat. Is it my turn? No. And that is systemic racism.
But the cast is also on their A game, and I think that they're so underrated. I want
Everyone's killing it.
Jasmine Cephas-Jones does it again, and I want more people to talk about her work as Ashley Rose, because she's so good in this role, specifically on this show. She has so much to do. And like even this season where like occasionally Ashley does like really annoying stuff, I'm just like, I get it, Ash. I wish you weren't doing this. And then when you get to the end of the season, even more so, I was like, oh no, I get it. I totally get it. Like all the things that you've done this season make total sense.
Oh my God, Ashley.
I don't know that I would say everything she does makes total sense.
No, I think the guilt that she feels makes complete and total sense.
Oh, well, okay.
That makes sense to me in season 1.
I wouldn't say everything she does.
But even then, like, it was like, I understand that you're guilty, but I don't know what you did to understand why you're feeling guilty. When we get to this season finale, and I got my little thug tear going, because...
Was it that last scene?
Yes.
Okay.
As they were going through that montage, I was like, oh no. And then Miles says what he says, and then I was like, tear. That's it.
And just them staring at each other for as long as they did, I was like, they trying to get me. They're trying to get me. They're not going to get me.
They was trying to get that thug tear.
But also that felt very series finale. Like, I didn't care for that montage because I was like, are you trying to tell us the show's over?
It did until we got to that tease at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I'm not... Okay, so one thing is I wanted to ask y'all, does this series take place before or after the movie?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, it's after.
Because they make a reference to Colin and Janina Gavankar's character in season 1, I think.
No.
Also, in this season, he says my Uncle Colin went to prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
And we know he's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also want to give a shout out to
in Montana.
No, he went to prison in Oakland, and
Okay. Got it. I was like, what? Did he learn nothing from the first movie?
Jesus, no, it's Miles who didn't learn. No, that's not true actually. Oh,
like they're thinking about it. Like there are things in this season that like I want more of or felt kind of off to me. Like I didn't love that. I feel like Janelle's story started and ended in the same place over the course of these 2 seasons.
This is why we need more than 8 episodes per season that are only a half hour, because
it's like
you can only do so much.
Chart her path over the 16 episodes, and it sounds like she's going to end up exactly where she started, which was not there. I'm like, okay, that's
I don't
fine,
know.
I guess.
With this show, I'm not going to count them out to find something something interesting to do.
That, and I kind of, like I said, I kind of wish that Earl's story had ended in more of a way than it did. I thought that last scene with him was pretty weak in terms of how much they had been building up to what this was going to be.
I guess should have hit harder.
Well, it's like they did that thing that a lot of stories do where it's like, you've been dreading this, and then you show up and it's awkward at first and then you fit right back in. And I wish that they hadn't done that and that they had made it more of like a, let's have a conversation, let's do some shit. I felt like that was too easy after all the build up to what it was.
I liked it though because
I did too.
All we've been watching is Earl go through it. Just for him to have that ease in that moment, because after everything, like the episode Life is Too Short, the Earl episode, which
the restaurant,
Benjamin Earl Turner wrote, by the way, shout out to him.
Oh damn.
When he's in the restaurant with June, Love June, by the way.
She's great.
Oh yeah, she's great.
That whole thing, I was like, man, we need give Earl a break because so much of this character can't catch a break. Ashley can't catch a break. Rainey can't catch a break.
See,
Earl
that's
can't catch a break, and then he does.
Because I feel like Rainey caught a major break this season in the fact that they didn't bring up the dementia. Like, they brought it up like once and then didn't do anything with it, which was weird. Like, Nancy brings it up, but I kept waiting for it to
No,
hit.
they bring it up several times this season. Even her spoken word brings it up.
Her spoken word does mention it.
I feel like I wanted to see the ramifications of it on her life in a way that we didn't.
And she also goes to talk to Miles about it. Like, she doesn't straight up say it, but we know that that's why she's talking to him.
Yeah, it's there. They don't focus on it like they did when they revealed it in season 1, but it is there. And I did think that we would get more focus on it, but also she's going through it too. Like, she's dealing with her son being in prison and her, at this point, daughter-in-law is just being a dick to her.
Coming back to it, that does not make any more sense to me knowing how things actually went down.
What?
Ashley treating her like that does not make any more sense to me knowing what actually happened the night he was arrested. Like, that doesn't... She was still being unreasonable to Rainey. I still don't get that.
That was just Ashley being selfish.
Yeah, I don't think that was going to
Those weren't
be
connected.
like oh yeah, this is why I've been treating you like that. Ashley was just not handling anything well.
Yeah, that was not connected at all. That was just her being depressed and taking it out on everybody. Yo, shout out to Jalen Barron.
I was about to say, speaking of characters who got on my nerves, but then sometimes I just love Trish.
I gotta give a shout out to Jalen Barron for literally portraying my relationship issues of the last year. I feel so seen. Me? From episode 1 or episode 2, I was like, Trish, don't be me. Don't be me for a season. I don't need this right now. Jalen Barron is great, and Trish is just either getting on your nerves or she's so lovable and hilarious, and Jalen Barron walks that line very, very well. I don't know how she does it.
She plays them both well. She plays both sides of that coin very well, and I love it. That last one, when she comes in, Ashley! It's funny, I was just talking to Kayla about how I don't like when shows kind of revert to issues that we saw. Like, I didn't like when season 2 of Bel-Air had Will and Carlton beefing. Because like, we got this in season 1 and we resolved it.
Yeah, when it got back to Ash and Trish beefing, I was like, no.
Ash, I was like, oh no, not this again. But they did it so well. And the way that episode goes, Meat Fest, by the way, for those who are curious.
Meat Fest is so
everything
good.
About that episode, like those things meshing together. Sean's little situation he has Earl helping him out with. We have a white capacity of our party.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
So Rainey says
that joke is good, but the payoff at the end is what makes it as good as it is. Because
exactly,
oh my God,
no, exactly. That payoff.
The leans they were doing, I had to take a minute. I was just like, no, this is cinema.
Rainey
screamed at the end of that episode.
Ally.
Yeah,
and she starts off explaining that Trish had to be around a lot of white people growing up. So to fix that, basically, Meat Fest is a party that they have. Okay. She said that we have a cap on how many white people can be at Meat Fest. We cap it at 6.
Including Rainey.
Including Rainey. So only 5 people can come.
So Rainey has this clicker, that have the way they peek. And then, is that guy Colin's dad?
No.
The one who's with Nancy?
I think
no, there are two different guys. There's Colin's dad, and then there's the Asian dude from the movie that's actually with Colin's mom.
Is she with him still?
I don't think he's with him now.
I don't know what's going on. Colin's mom be out there.
But yeah, Colin's dad is like, you're white. And then she's like, all right, click once for me. So for the rest of the episode, every time a white person comes in,
Trish clicks.
Trish is like, she clicks. It's just like making sure. It's so good.
It might be the best joke of it.
It's so good.
Like, oh my goodness, you know what? It's up there with the 3 slaps.
3 slaps is amazing.
Ooh.
Wait, Trish counts as white?
No,
she does the
she's using the counter.
Oh, okay. I thought Rainey had the counter.
That joke is up there with the 3 slaps joke.
3 slaps is amazing.
It's the counting thing. It's the counting.
Incredible.
Rainey she keeps delivering. I love Rainey. I love me some Rainey.
And Helen, she's
Hunt's
so
amazing.
Good. She's so good.
Watch that.
I was watching an interview with her actually last night. It's really hard for me to describe what Blindspotting is to people.
Fair.
Because I'm like, I don't know how to explain what this show is. I can't give you a synopsis, but she explained it so well and so simply with it is about incarceration and how it affects the family of those who are incarcerated. Yeah. And I was like, that's such a simple way of putting this together because that is what the show is about at its core.
Which is interesting because then my question is going to be, what is the 3rd season going to be?
I was wondering that.
I mean, it's the after effects
you can
of
deal
what
with
happens.
the fallout. That's true. And we don't really know, given how
Don't say too much.
the last shot of season 3 might give us the opportunity to go more into certain things that were touched upon, but we don't know one person's experience of something as much as we could.
Okay.
And I'd like to.
All right.
Now we have the chance to.
Yeah. I just know that based on how this season ended, that last shot, I was like, season 3, I think is gonna be my favorite.
It's gonna be
delivering what
the
I think they
bars
will.
in season 3 are gonna be insane.
You saw what I put in the group chat. I said I need season 3 tomorrow.
Yo, oh my god.
Blindspotting, as you can tell. See, I didn't think we were going to talk this long about Blindspotting, but I should know better because whenever Blindspotting is brought up, we talk forever.
They did an entire episode where people use finger guns.
Oh, the Western episode is
amazing.
Oh my god, that was good.
Oh, it's one of my favorite Western things to ever exist.
It's so good.
It was really great.
Listen, if you're not watching Blindspotting, you should be. It's one of the best TV shows on television right now. It's so good. And if you haven't seen the movie, watch that first.
Also, just that Western episode, it's like when I first saw the movie Blindspotting, I was like, this is so Oakland. And the fact that it's called The Good, the Bad, and the Thizzly.
Yeah, I just saw the name of that episode. I was like...
they are going up against the
Thizzly
Niner
Bear.
gang.
Hey.
Yes.
Because the Raiders hate the Niners. And one thing that's very subtle is that all of the members of the Niner gangs, they have names like Young and Montana, and those are 49ers quarterbacks from the 90s.
Oh.
And I was like, this is just so detailed, and I love it. The reload handshake, E40.
The reload
E40's
handshake.
in it.
E40's in it.
That's
Yo,
amazing.
the
I mean, we already
reload
know they're friends with
handshake
E40,
to,
but...
Showing the sort of the tattoos that show you how many bullets you have, like that, it was so slick.
Their recaps were also really great too, because they're just like people who are memorable in Oakland every single episode. So it's so much fun. This is such a great show. It's a fantastic show all the way around. And if you're not watching it, like I said, you should be, because it's great.
Does Zendaya do a recap?
No,
I'm just kidding. Maybe next season.
Maybe.
She from Oakland.
That's true. Man, great show. We have to stop because otherwise we'd just be here forever talking about Blindspotting.
Yep.
And we don't.
not that we mind, but we've done that before.
Yeah, we've done it before.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it
hey,
keeps being this
David,
good. Like,
Got David Diggs' attention.
David, if you're still listening, what's up, bro?
This is an episode that's basically all about you.
That's true. All right, so we have done the reviews, which takes us to Colin,
me.
who watched 10 minutes of something.
I did.
Give us a quick 10-minute take,
What
my
is
guy.
it?
All right. So sometimes you watch like the first few minutes of a show and you go, this is not for me. And then you think, wow, 10 minutes goes for a long time when you're not enjoying what you're watching.
Oh, no.
I watched the first 10 minutes of Shrinking and it sucked.
You hate the first 10 minutes of Shrinking?
Absolutely
I
not for
love
me.
Shrinking.
Like, I
Okay,
got
well,
to
hold on.
the-
Tell me where it stops.
Yeah, where does it
Where
stop?
does it stop?
I love that 3 out of 4 of us are just like, how dare you?
Where does it stop?
How could you?
I
That show
think
loves
it-
Pasadena so much.
It loves
talking to like Harrison Ford or something. I think
Oh,
In
whatever the I
in the
can't-
break room?
Is the main guy Jason Sudeikis? I can't remember.
No,
names.
that's Jason Segel. Other
Yeah.
Jason.
Jason Segel. Thank you.
yeah.
I think he's like just walked into the break room. I can't remember. I don't know. It was bad. Yeah, I just like the show started and I was like, okay, so like it was going and I was like, oh, we're gonna get some opening credits here and I'm supposed to laugh, but this is terrible and I don't want it. Like it's just I don't
think you're supposed
I
to
don't
laugh.
like
That's
watching shows about like people who suck, for one. And then when you take a person who sucks and have them be in a position where they're supposed to give other people advice and they give terrible advice, I was like, no, this is not funny to me. This just sucks. I don't like this. I don't want this. So by the time we got to the opening credits, I was like, this is what this show is? Fuck no. And then I watched the next 5 minutes because I had to.
It is, but it's not about that.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's funny because when I
that's what it sells it on. Like that's the opening to the show is, look, this guy sucks and he's a therapist. Isn't that funny? Because his life is shitty. And it's like, no, it's
No,
not
because
funny.
it's not
what the show's
funny.
selling
Yeah,
you
that's
on.
not-
That's only if you think that if you start a show, the characters won't change.
In theory, the first 10 minutes or the first 5, whatever, should give me an idea of like what am I supposed to be interested in going into this show? And if this is the premise of the show, I know he will change, but I'm not interested in seeing him get there because I don't like how he is now, and I think it's awful that he's a therapist. And I don't want to see him be a therapist because he's terrible.
It's a good thing that this show does not revolve around him being a therapist, which is funny.
See, that's interesting because it feels like, because that's how it ends right before the opening credits is like, hey, I'm a therapist. He didn't say, hey, I'm a therapist, but
No, he doesn't say
No, he's just like, you think he's going to a therapy appointment, and in fact, he's
right.
the
And then
therapist.
he's like,
that's the
oh,
joke.
how are you feeling today or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, the show revolves far more around his interpersonal relationships with the people around him and him fixing those than it does around him actually being a therapist. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
But it's-
Although, I mean, he does start like doing weird things
He
as a
does,
therapist,
yes.
and then I think season 2 is going to be the consequences of his actions.
Probably.
There's like one thing that's like, oh my god. But
Yeah.
it's funny because when I put shrinking on the list, I was thinking Jason Segel is terrible in the beginning of the show.
He is.
Yeah, he's
And-
horrible.
He is the kind of character Colin would hate.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was like, at this point, kind of the theme of the 10-minute take is that you're not going to get what you need to get
In 10
out
minutes.
of the first 10 minutes.
Absolutely not.
Especially with a show that's all about showing somebody at their worst
And
and
making them
bringing
better.
them out of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to make you appreciate the arc that he goes through of that show, he has to be so bad in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
he's-
like,
he's-
ooh.
Sucks super bad.
He's literally lost so much that he's torn down to the bottom of what he could be by the time we get to the beginning of this
Mhm.
show.
He starts the movie like doing drugs with possibly.
And that's the
sex
thing
workers?
is like,
With his
if
daughter
they
inside.
had given
And his daughter in
any
the house, yeah.
hint that he had lost anything, it might have worked. The first 10 minutes don't give you any hint that he's lost anything. They just show that this guy's life is shit, and you don't know how it got
This
there.
is
or
definitely the
anything
problem
about
with
that.
basing. Yeah, because we learn about that as that episode goes on.
Yeah.
That's the
Which would make
problem with
sense.
basing something off of the first 10 minutes of a show.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not going to get everything you need that's actually trying to draw you in.
And I
Yeah.
think that's also the thing with watching trailers is that the show was designed to tell you that later, but I knew going in because I saw the trailer
Yeah.
and I know what it's about.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
without that indication, you're just
Yeah.
like, this guy sucks. I don't know why this guy sucks, but he does.
I mean,
Yeah.
I assume that there was like, because he was sucking in such an exaggerated way, it was obvious that something happened. Like he was doing that, like as Gaby said, he's doing drugs in a pool next to some maybe prostitutes. We're not sure. Like that was so heightened and extreme that it was like, okay,
Oh, they are?
it's
Okay.
obvious that something brought him here. Like that's obvious. I know
Yeah,
that this
something
isn't just
happened.
like who he is. This is like I'm going through it.
Yeah.
But obviously, the first 10 minutes they don't spend any time explaining what he's going through.
right, they got an hour.
Actually, I think this show is the show
Oh, this is
half
half hour.
It's half
Oh,
hour.
is it?
I
40
got half an
minutes
hour.
is the first episode.
Oh, okay. This one's a little longer than the other episodes.
Yeah,
then.
Apple TV plays a little bit more with the links.
I mean, all streaming services play
It's true.
Yeah, that's
fast and
true.
loose with
They
the
don't
links.
have ad breaks.
Yeah, if you guys would like to hear our review of Shrinking,
We did
as
review
in
Shrinking.
Me,
We
Dallas, and
did.
Gabby, there is an episode with us reviewing Shrinking, with our full thoughts on the show.
Yeah.
Colin just gave you his review of the first 10 minutes, and
yeah.
he wasn't down for
That
it.
is the
Yeah.
that is the brand.
Mhm.
That is the point of these 10-minute takes, and whoo
Yep.
boy, it's a wild one. It's amusing every single time, but man. But yeah, that's episode 240, where you can find our thoughts on Shrinking.
All right. That is that. Do y'all have what you're watching? Thing?
I do. I have
Ooh,
one.
She's excited. Let's start with Gabby.
I watched Queen Charlotte on Netflix.
Is that the Bridgerton?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it broke my heart. It was beautiful. Oh my God. Okay, so just quick reference. Queen Charlotte is a spin-off and a miniseries spin-off of Bridgerton. The show was created by Shonda Rhimes, directed by Tom Verica, and stars India Amartefo, I think is the way she pronounces it, and Adjo Ando, Michelle Fairley, Ruth Gemmell, Corey Mycroft, Golda Rochevelle, and Arsema Thomas, and a few other people, with some voiceover from Julie Andrews. The premise is the spin-off miniseries revolving around Queen Charlotte consists of two plot lines. One in the present of Bridgerton, beginning in 1817, and the other begins in 1761 with Charlotte meeting and marrying King George III. To tell you this show is so good, it makes you feel bad for King George III as an American. You're like, oh no, poor George.
Poor George.
Ooh, it's great. It's based very little in history.
Love that.
There's only like two things on the show that are historically accurate. One is that Charlotte marries King George,
All right.
and the other one is that they have 15 children and that he didn't have mistresses.
15.
Yeah, they had 15 kids, and
Get off
You
her!
pushed out 15.
she
babies?
pushed out 15 babies and she didn't die. Like, but did you
That's
die?
impressive.
She didn't. Which is basically like, you knew that if they weren't in love, they were certainly committed and honoring their vows to each other. If like King George didn't have any bastards, no mistresses, and he had that many kids with his wife, they sure liked
was
each
it
other.
like they had
like sex.
a ton of girls and they were trying for a boy, or they were just like popping
there was
out
no birth control,
left and right?
so they were just having sex and then she'd get pregnant.
He was dropping.
Like if you're not on birth control, you're gonna be popping a kid out every 18 months.
I would like to think that they did that out of love, because I feel like if I'm King George, if I want to have an heir, as soon as I do that, I'm like, peace, I'm out.
That's why people think they were
more.
That's why people think they were likely in love or else very committed to each other, because they had 15 kids and like no, like he didn't have any mistresses or anything.
They have the worst pullout game in human history.
He wasn't even trying.
Oh, you gotta after 12, after a dozen, you gotta pull out. What you need 15 for, bro?
My Grammy had 16.
16?
She gave birth to 16 kids. 13 reached adulthood. 1 was adopted.
One of my favorite shows makes it a point to say that one of the characters has 15 children. Now, mind you, 13 of them died, but we don't know how that happened.
And then my other grandma, so one grandma, she gave birth to 16, right? The other grandma gave birth to 12. And
well, yeah, Dallas just said at 12, you stop.
Yeah, get a dozen if you need it.
If you're selling Skarsgård, if you're selling Skarsgård, you stop at 8.
For?
If you want to start your own basketball team, complete with the 6-man, some bench warmers, role players.
Or if you just want to live out your cheaper by the dozen dreams.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it was about a kid every 18 months. Anyway, getting away from that, the rest of the show is like deeply historically inaccurate. But who gives a heck? Bridgerton is about fantasy. It's about just embracing the whole romanticism of it all, and you have them fall in love. And there is this line on the show that like everyone's quoting right now. And honestly, yes, if a dude said that to me, I would also
you would give him 16 babies.
I would also give him 16 babies. Maybe not. I did not like being pregnant. But like, so one of the inaccurate points. Most of the show is inaccurate.
History is for nerds.
Yeah. So King George III didn't actually show quote unquote madness. They think he was bipolar. He didn't show that until he was in his like 50s. The show is like he's not doing well now, and he's like 22. Yeah, so like on the show, like when you first see him, he's like 22, and it looks like they're gonna get along, and then he like disappears, and you're like, what the heck happened to him? And then he comes back, and he's like, I'm back, and you're like, fine, I guess. And you find out he's been dealing with like basically mental breaks, like psychotic breaks, where he doesn't know what reality is, and he's obsessed with like the heavens and whatever. Queen Charlotte doesn't find out until she's like pregnant, and like she's already married, and she's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Nobody told me that he has
pregnant
these episodes.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Boy, does she have a long road ahead of her.
Right?
They had time. He was disappearing, going on sabbaticals.
No.
Had time to come back and have 15 kids.
Really quick about how much the generation after this fumbled the ball. They had 15 kids. They had one heir. Henry's like the first, or George is the first heir, right? And he was going to be king. And he did take over. He was the king regent once King George could no longer manage. He was supposed to have heirs. He didn't. And it's like, okay, that's okay, because you got 15 or 14 siblings, right? They didn't really marry their daughters off. So that's gone. And then all the other dudes were like, I might have a kid, maybe. So he still didn't have a direct heir until Queen Victoria was born, and she was like his 4th or 5th brother removed child, and she was the only one. I was like, y'all had 15 people.
They messed it up. I don't know how you do that.
It took how many of you just to make one heir? The previous king did his job. He delivered heir on top of heir, and y'all like, there's 15 of you. Anyway,
I had 14 siblings. We would have taken over Pasadena. We were running around like the Justice League. Like there would be nobody who could stop us.
My mom's siblings basically were at one point.
See, like,
and my dad's siblings.
It's a numbers game.
There's a lot of them here.
You're the Warriors out here.
I have 200 cousins on my mom's side.
All right, y'all, we got to get through this, man. We got.
Anyway, Queen Charlotte is amazing. Please watch it. Like, there's this beautiful line where like she's like, "Do you love me?" And he's like, "I love you, Charlotte. My heart calls out your name." And you're like, ah! Anyway.
Lovely.
It's okay.
All right.
This is the year for love confessions, it appears, because I've had several that I just swoon at. That I'm just like, all right, trailer tracking.
Trailer tracking. We have 3 trailers. The first one is Barbie. Greta Gerwig found people of color. Let's do it.
Yo, the cinema. Like, dude, I will walk right past every screening of Oppenheimer. Fuck that. I don't care. Get me like into Barbie repeatedly.
I am going to be out of town the week that these two movies, that Oppenheimer and Barbie come out. And I it's looking like I'm gonna have to choose one. If I have to see a movie, it's probably just gonna be one, and it's gonna be Barbie.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Also, how do I put like Barbie is? I don't mean this like lightly. Like I feel like it is cinema. Barbie
cinema.
is like, you know, sugar with your medicine. Like it feels like it's gonna say things about society, and I'm gonna have a great time watching it.
Greta Gerwig has already come out and said that this movie is supposed to be like
on
a
the
metaphor.
story of Genesis.
Well, no, not just that. I think she said that it's supposed to be like a metaphor for like for young girls as kids. We're constantly like confident and you know, oh, the world is my oyster, this type of feeling, and then you hit puberty and suddenly you're not good enough.
It's gonna hit too close to home.
Like suddenly you hit puberty and girls no longer feel like they are worthy. And she said that the movie is supposed to follow along with that kind of story of Barbie feeling like my life is great, every day is perfect, oh my gosh. And then one day she's just like, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Do you think about death?
No.
Do you ever think about dying?
This is way too close to home.
Listen, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach came in and were like, we're gonna give you a real
This is gonna
story,
be cinema,
but it's gonna be Barbie.
That's too close to home.
I'm excited.
I may ugly cry.
Listen, I'm a Margot Robbie fangirl. I truly believe she's one of the greatest actresses of this generation. And I also think she's the most perfect person you could have found to play Barbie. What can I say?
Yeah, no, that's not wrong. That is correct.
Like
this,
there's no one else.
I mean,
I'm so excited.
There's just like a look that she gives right after the "Do you ever think about dying?" line, and I'm just like, oh, give her a word for that.
Yeah.
Just a look to the side of like,
throw an Oscar at her.
She's so good. She's also so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the shoe joke. I watched the trailer 3 times. I'm laughing out loud every time.
I can't wait.
It looks like, oh my god.
It looks so funny. And as somebody who had little interest in Little Women as like a story and falling in love with Greta Gerwig's Little Women movie, like really I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do with a Barbie movie. I also just love so many of these actors that are playing Barbies and Kens.
Yes.
And so exciting.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. But yeah, if I had to choose, I'm not watching Oppenheimer. I'm watching Barbie.
I'm watching Barbie.
I'll probably watch it twice. Be like, I had time to watch Oppenheimer, and yet
you might have time. That movie's like 3 hours.
Oof.
I might try and drag depending on what state I'm in at the time, because I don't know what state I'll be in. I might try and drag my younger cousin to go see it with me. I'm so excited. We're not playing when we say that this looks like cinema.
You can also pre-order the soundtrack now on CD or cassette or vinyl.
What?
It's probably gonna slap.
The thing is, the vinyl part doesn't surprise me. The CD part doesn't surprise me.
Cassette?
You gotta get the cassette.
You gotta get the cassette for the Barbie. For your like Walkman and like to go like rollerblading on Venice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. This is going to be a little too close to home, but especially now that I'm starting a promotion, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It also looks so colorful.
Yes,
it does.
I feel like it's going to hit me right in the serotonin, in the dopamine.
Because that's also contrasted with certain shots of the real world. Like, when she's like being chased, it's this gray ass office, and it's like, yeah, that's very intentional. And like, it's just cinema. It's cinema.
Yep.
Cinema. Speaking of colors, the color purple.
That was gonna be my transition.
Oh, wow, that was good.
Yeah, I was
this trailer already made me cry. I literally cried.
My other transition was gonna be speaking of things that'll make Gaby cry. The color purple.
Dallas, what are your thoughts on this trailer?
It looks good, just like the first one.
Are you gonna watch it?
Hell nah.
Yeah, I remember you watching the
I've
first
watched
time.
The Color Purple one time, and I will never do that again.
So I have never seen The Color Purple.
I haven't either. I don't know if I can handle it.
You could not.
You probably can't.
Good to know.
I plan to watch it before this new one comes out. These are 2 very different movies.
Yeah, the vibes are very different.
They do very like. Is the name of this movie The Color Purple, or is the name of this movie The Color Purple, a new take on a classic?
No, it is called
underneath the title.
That's the tagline. The movie is called The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Listen, Fantasia sounds amazing. Also, Halle Bailey's in it. Halle Bailey's having a year, as we just discussed with The Little Mermaid. As soon as this trailer came out, I was like, oh, you guys are...
For sure, she gonna get a Golden Globe nom.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are taking this opportunity with The Little Mermaid coming out to capitalize on her success on this. This is a good idea.
Smart.
It's very smart. And she's like the first person that you see in the trailer. Very, very smart.
Are they running this trailer with The Little Mermaid?
Yes, they are.
Oh, smart.
It was the first trailer that played when I went to go see The Little Mermaid.
The marketing is whoever's in charge of that for marketing deserves a raise.
They were like, oh, her movie coming out? Throw that out there real quick.
Whoever edited that trailer to put her first.
They knew.
They also deserve a raise.
I'm very interested. I love musicals. And this one feels like almost like a return to like classic musicals. It's colorful and it's vibrant. I'm fascinated to see. I have no idea what The Color Purple is about. I know nothing.
I have some idea.
Sadness.
Which is why I'm like,
But
That's
this looks more joyful than anything I've ever heard about the original Color Purple movie.
Does it? Because someone almost gets shot or does get shot. I couldn't tell. Like,
someone is thrown out onto like basically the street.
Yeah, I recognize that scene. I was like, there it is. But to Demi's point, it does look like
it is very vibrant and colorful. And also
like
music.
if I, like Demi, had not seen The Color Purple and I saw this trailer, I was like, that doesn't look as depressing as I've heard.
Well, how do I put this? As somebody that has a general idea what The Color Purple is, it also does not look as depressing.
Yeah.
But
I
also know.
I've also read that the musical is closer to the book than the other movie is.
Okay. I don't know the book.
I don't either. But maybe the book is happier. Not much happier, but
I'm gonna
happier.
doubt. Like it might be, but I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just here for the vibes, man.
Malaya read the book.
I've read the book. I have also I went to performing arts school and also performed a song from The Color Purple called Hell No. That's the pretty big song. And have seen the movie a bunch of times because my family loves Black trauma for some reason.
I can see that.
A lot of
It'd be like
older
that sometimes.
Black people
They do.
I think it reminds them of the time. I don't know.
Maybe.
Each version of The Color Purple is very sad. Of course, the original book is going to be the saddest. The movie is definitely very in your face when it comes to the trauma that the women go through. But I would say that the musical gives it hope because there is the gospel aspect. And gospel in general is to spread hope and to spread peace within, even when you're going through a hard time. So I think it does give it a more uplifting view to the story, but it still does have very hard-hitting subject matters. And the songs also do, tell the stories of their traumas and things like that. So I think they do have a healthy mix of being a dark story, but also being like a hopeful, like, silver lining.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
So I would prefer that than just watching a trailer. This is why I love musicals. Musicals can give you that, give you that uplifting feeling, even if the story that they're telling is depressing.
Yeah.
Hamilton has a tragic ending, and yet
You can hear some slaps while you wipe your tears.
Exactly.
For those who are confused or curious, that was our homie, Malaya.
Yeah.
She is our musical correspondent, in addition to the rest of these people. Pretty much everyone here really likes musicals except for me.
Yeah, but I think that this movie looks great, and the fact that they're releasing it at Christmas means that they have a lot of faith in how good of a movie it is.
True.
They're going for
that's
Oscars.
Christmas time.
It's
is
also
the
Spielberg
time.
likes releasing stuff around that time.
Well,
And
I mean,
like
he's
right?
a producer, but I don't know how much input he had on that.
Also,
that's
it's
true.
directed by Blitz Bazawule, who is a Ghanaian rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer.
Ooh, interesting.
He also made Black is King.
Oh, Black is King is dope.
Yeah, so
The visuals about to.
that person.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the trailer, the visuals look stunning. Like Taraji P. Henson in that red dress coming on that boat.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
Exactly. That's the image. That's the shot right there.
Yeah.
Also, I love this cast. Taraji P. Henson, Danielle Brooks. I don't know if you guys could hear it because there was no mic pointed at her, but Malaya mentioned that there was a queer aspect to the story. So I like queer representation and stuff. I like representation in everything.
Yes.
But yeah, I love this cast, man. Her is in it.
Her is in it?
Yeah, her is in it. Coleman Domingo, who is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name? Corey Hawkins. And ever since In the Heights, I'm just in love with his voice.
Yeah.
So
He has a great voice.
Also, Dion Cole is in it.
yeah.
Dion Cole.
Dion Cole.
What is he doing here?
Not since The Harder They Fall have I been more surprised to see Dion Cole pop up in the movie.
Right?
I think this movie looks like it's probably going to be phenomenal. I'm definitely going to go see it. I love a good musical, and this looks like it's going to be a good musical.
Dope, 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 dope.
I'm just going to listen to
have
the
fun.
music.
I will.
Colin, you gonna watch it?
Probably not. It doesn't look that interesting to me.
That's right. It didn't seem like your vibe. All right, those are the. Wait, there's another trailer. We were talking about video games, and Colin's here this time, and he pressed record so he can talk to us.
Yeah.
You know what,
I
Colin?
can still talk to you. It's just that other people can hear it.
You guys will hear him.
Colin, you're never gonna live that down.
No, that's fair.
Spider-Man 2. They released a gameplay trailer.
They did. As part
my
of the
lord.
PlayStation Showcase.
I wish I had a PS5.
I have one.
If anyone hears anything about Demi's house being robbed, I
I was
did
about
not
to
do
say,
it.
maybe don't advertise that.
I did not do it, but maybe I did. This game was really good. Just the black suit Spider-Man, dog walking dudes in the street.
It's not just
Okay,
Venom.
so here's an interesting question.
Isn't it Venom?
No.
That is Peter.
No,
It's
it
Peter.
is Peter, but is it not the Venom symbiote?
It is the Venom
attached to-
symbiote.
Yeah, it's
But
Venom.
yeah, well, Venom is Eddie Brock when he gets the symbiote. The symbiote
yes,
itself
but
isn't.
you know what I mean.
But yeah,
Which
it's
is
that
interesting
symbiote.
because I think that in previous marketing, they have marketed Venom specifically.
Yeah,
He's in the first trailer.
he'll
Like,
probably get rid of the symbiote eventually.
Yeah, like the first trailer ends with Venom showing up. Also, Venom is played by Tony Todd in this game.
Hey,
And oh my god, if that's not amazing casting.
Ooh,
I didn't know
who
Tony
that
Todd
is.
did video game voice.
I don't know
Yeah.
who that is, so let me look
He's
that up.
Candyman from the original Candyman, and he is
he's done a lot of
Death
stuff.
in Final Destination.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I have not finished the first Spider-Man game. I
Okay.
have played all the way through Miles Morales, which I love.
I'm the other way around.
Mhm.
I finished the first one. I have not finished mine.
You should,
And I finished Miles.
Finish both.
That is the plan.
Yes, I finished Miles Morales with 100%.
Nice.
It's a much shorter game than Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
That makes
easier to do.
Like long games, I can't finish.
The
But
thing for go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say the thing that got me excited about watching this gameplay trailer was seeing the symbiote version of Black Suit Spider-Man
Mhm.
and getting to see how it moves and how it looks. It reminded
Yeah.
me a lot of the
Yo,
prototype games, which I
Not to-
loved.
Gabby,
Yes.
for you,
Stop it!
it's
Oh.
got some good tentacle physics.
Stop
Hey.
it.
Gabby
They
loves a
do,
good
they
tentacle.
do though. They do look real cool.
For me.
Gabby, do you want to say your
No, I'm
catchphrase?
not going to.
Okay.
I'll say it for her.
I
Say it
didn't
for
see the. I haven't seen it, so I can't do the line.
Gabby's seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
Mhm. See, my thing is like, does Black Suit Spider-Man always suck as a person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it
that's
makes
the one
you worse.
aspect of it I would like to get through that. Because everything in that trailer he was saying, I was just like, go away. I don't like you.
Yeah, that's the
You're
point.
just mean.
He's mean.
Which is the
That's what it
point,
does.
because they make a point of it. And Miles is like, yo, are you good? And he's like, no, I am not good. I want death. And it's like, all right.
It's like a
Feed off the
Horcrux
death.
or the Ring. You know, one of those things that makes
It's one of those things. Okay.
Yeah. I also really got super excited when I saw Miles' new abilities in the game. I was like, oh, my
Yeah,
boy,
those look
let's
super dope.
go. Like I said, I've finished playing Miles Morales, so I know what my boy can do in that game. And so seeing him in this game, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
He has like a it's not a web shooter. I don't know what he's shooting out. But it's
I
like
was saying, I think he's like shooting lightning at people. Which,
no, not the lightning, like
Bucks.
the cable when he's sneaking around and he's
Oh,
stealthing and he
that-
shoots the
oh
cable
my
out and he can walk
God.
across it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Bro,
if we
I
had
saw
had
that,
this
and
in
I
the
was
first
like,
game.
yo, this is one of the greatest traversal mechanics in video games. Like, oh, before you had to find a place to hang. Now you can just make it.
Now
Yes.
you can make one.
Yes.
I
Oh
love
my
it
God.
so
If you
much.
can do that like anywhere, that's going to be so much fun.
It was so exciting to see that because stealthing around is one of my favorite things to do as Miles. I love trying to find a way that I can clear an entire room without anybody ever
Yep.
seeing me.
Right.
And so getting to like make my own cable and my own walkway, I'm
Right,
just
just
like,
walk
Oh my God, yes.
I'm like, oh, this is about to be killer. I'm about to just stealth on everybody.
It looks so good. It looks so good. I was sold as soon as I saw Peter drive his legs through that man's sternum. It's that wall like
Oh,
10
yeah.
times. I was like, oh,
He went in on that one.
okay.
I was not gonna watch the full 10 minutes and was just so drawn into it because I was like, oh, I can do all this stuff when this comes out. Oh,
Mhm.
this is gonna be great. If only I could get more space on my PS5.
Get an external
You got time.
hard drive.
I have an external hard drive.
Have you filled it with what?
I haven't filled it all the way yet.
Yet.
Yes. It's okay. I'm going to steal it anyway. All right.
Right.
Speaking of violent video games, Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, they found a katana. It is a woman that Demi knows because, of course, she does. Adeline Rudolph.
Who is related to? No. Sorry, I think it's somebody else. Yes, Adeline Rudolph. Oh, I was actually on the right track. But same TV show, wrong person.
Gotcha.
Yes, Adeline Rudolph. I know her from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is funny because Tati Gabrielle just got cast in the same movie as Jade. So
True.
Did she
and
get
they
officially
play.
cast? I thought that was
It
like an in
says
talks or something.
It did say in talks, but this article says has joined Tati Gabrielle, her co-star
Okay,
on the Netflix
cool.
series.
Yeah, and they played best friends on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, so it's very funny that
I
they
know
are.
that is.
Yeah, it's very funny that they're both just got cast in Mortal Kombat. Because as soon as I saw that news, I was like, it's
yes.
a Chilling Adventures of Sabrina reunion.
Friendship.
Let's go! I'm so excited. I'm just excited for the fight scenes. I'm ready to see what they do. Story wise, I'm like, it's Mortal Kombat.
Do whatever y'all want. I love Katana. She is. It's funny because was it the last review episode where we talked about Tati?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing I said. She's hot and she's deadly, except this one wears blue instead of green. She is not black, which is interesting to me because the first movie had Melina in it, and she was played by Sissy Stringer,
Mm-hmm.
a black woman. Melina is a clone of Katana. So I would have thought that they would look the same. They do not. But Mortal Kombat is one of those things that people just want to see somebody play dodgeball with somebody else's head. So I don't know how much
That matters.
the lore is going to matter to people. But,
Like I just said.
nerds be getting mad.
I have seen some people who were like, shouldn't she just be played by CC Stringer?
Yes, and fair. I think she should, but I'm not going to complain about nobody getting the bag. So shout out to Miss Rudolph.
Yeah. So the connection that I made was I was like, yeah, her little sister is the one who's in Resident Evil, the TV series. And I had to stop myself and go, no, she plays the older version of that character. And that character, the younger version of that character is the younger sister of the girl who's playing Nani in the live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yo,
Okay.
so it sounds like if it goes with the plan, the co-writer wanted the reboot to be the start of a trilogy with a second film set during the Mortal Kombat tournament. So that second film gonna slap.
It better.
I mean, that makes sense. It feels
Weird that the first one didn't have the tournament.
Yeah, it felt like the
It is.
first movie was
But
leading to that.
honestly, I feel like the tournament, they brought that up and then forgot about it because now they've made like 50 games. And it's just like, long as you can rip someone's spine out and play the xylophone with it, who cares?
To play the xylophone with it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Do whatever you're going to do.
That's
with
what you do.
somebody's body.
Make a pipe out of it, pan pipe
Exactly.
Alrighty. Makeup pan.
But yeah, either way, I'm going to watch it.
Alright.
The first one was dope.
Yeah.
It was fun. Let's get violent.
And we had a great
Yeah.
time when we went to go see it because
Yeah.
we rented out a whole theater because it was in quarantine
did.
Yeah.
times.
Oh my god, I forgot we did that.
Yeah,
was
we had
so
a great
great.
time.
At Louis Tan,
Oh,
great.
Louis Tan.
Sub-Zero, and what was his face? The other one?
Scorpion.
The other one.
There we
You
go.
know.
The other one.
Scorpion. Ooh, amazing, iconic. I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
excited.
look forward to it. I look forward to it.
The fight scenes are going to slap. And that's
Yeah.
all I
Yep.
care about.
Yep.
Shout out James Wan.
Exactly.
Do your thing.
He didn't direct it.
He's producing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know how to transition from that to this. Matt Berry is going to co-star in Minecraft with Jason Momoa.
Which wild.
Yo, this
Laszlo
went from
and
I don't care
Aquaman.
to yo, I'm see it. I'm
Yeah,
see
me
it though.
too.
Like
I'm like, I am
do.
down.
I love him so much. He's so good on what we do in the show, in everything he's in. Honestly,
My favorite
and
line
like,
of his.
Mm.
When she's like, I cannot even speak the name of the vampire who. I can. It was Mike. So good.
I just like
comedic timing.
I don't.
Oh.
Minecraft has such a strange history, and like there was Minecraft, and then there was the Telltale game, and then Microsoft bought it, and now there's gonna be a movie. And what the fuck is this going to be? I don't
They
know.
made
But
a
Matt Berry's in
Telltale
it.
Minecraft game?
They did. I believe
What
it was
is that?
Telltale. They made a. Was it Telltale? I think it.
I thought it was like the choose your own
What?
adventure games, but video game.
Minecraft story mode. Yep.
What is
Wow.
the story?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I don't know what you do in that game. I know you build
It
things.
was Telltale. Yeah.
I don't know how that lends itself
But
to a story.
I mean,
but
there
hey,
are
somebody
characters. They made characters.
does. All right.
Oh, okay.
But
Whatever y'all gonna do. I don't know.
Listen,
I know
I don't
nothing
know.
about this.
But like, neither do I. And I heard they were making a Minecraft movie, and I was like, why? But you put Matt Berry in it, sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I got nothing.
I have nothing to.
I don't know Minecraft. I don't know Matt Berry. I know Jason Momoa.
I know enough about Minecraft that I don't care about it. I don't care. Like, Matt Berry's in this, and I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Jason
Laszlo.
Momoa is not enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to go see a movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for the trailer to
That-
see what this is.
Yeah.
That sounds like the most random pairing ever, and I want to watch it on screen. Or unless it's going to be a digital thing. We'll see, because I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, and it's going to be interesting.
Cool. I have
See,
no
what
idea.
they should do is they should only screen it in Minecraft.
That'd be
Like, you have to
ridiculous.
build a screen
That's so much
and
work.
watch it.
No thanks.
They'd make no money off of it.
Ooh, the release date is not until April
they
4th, 2025. So they got a while to figure this out.
They got time.
This wasn't even the first time they were developing a Minecraft movie. Rob McElhenney was developing one, and then they were almost done, like with pre-production.
I would have watched
It's
that.
directed, by the way, by the director of Napoleon Dynamite
Yo, this movie about to be weird. I
and
can't
Nacho
wait.
Libre.
Yo,
The audience can't
This
see
just
my
got-
face, but this actually made me less interested.
This just made me more interested. Nacho Libre is iconic.
I like Nacho Libre. I do not like Napoleon Dynamite.
I love that movie too, and they have the same kind of like offbeat sort of
Weird-
vibe. I love it. I can't wait.
humor.
This is I'm now committed. I will be watching the Minecraft movie.
You can tell us how it is.
Yeah.
All right, we covered it.
That's it.
That's it. That is it. Thank you,
Yay.
audience. We love y'all. Thanks for coming through for the David Diggs episode featuring some news.
The David Diggs and Halle Bailey episode.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's Color Purple. We got a couple for both of them.
Yep.
As always, thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, going to see The Little Mermaid, standing for Halle,
I
as
will.
you should.
I will continue.
Gabby, thank you for repping for the Bridgerton fans
Woo!
and the people who come from big-ass families.
Yep. Gigantic family.
Colin, thank you for your 10-minute terrible take on shrinking. I'm just kidding.
Thank you for going to see The Little
Wow.
Mermaid
Yeah. Thank you for seeing The Little Mermaid.
That's true. I still have to get used to Colin seeing movies again because he lives in civilization now.
I do.
Love that. Love that for you.
Shout out to the dude in my theater who was having a rough time. Because, you know, people bring their kids and the kids don't want to sit still, so they be running around. So we're halfway through the movie and just hear, who baby is this? Who baby is this? Like, can you civilize your children? Like,
Aw.
shout out to that man. Going through this.
I love that.
Poor guy.
Thank you, that man, for the secondhand entertainment.
Honestly, it was hard for me to focus on the second half of the movie because I just had who baby is this running through my head the entire time.
Yes, I would be doing that for the rest of the movie.
Oh.
Thank you to our special guest, Malaya. She does not have a mic, but she is waving. We love Malaya. Audience, what y'all think of The Little Mermaid? What'd you think about Blindspotting? David Diggs, are you listening? Do you remember us?
Do you guys agree that black people make everything better?
They do.
Yes, you do. Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. We got all them inboxes. They are bone dry. If you want to talk to me more about Blindspotting, because I will talk about it forever, you can find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba.
You can find me, Gaby, on the Instagrams at Stegosaurus.
Continuing this episode's theme of looking back on things that you love and seeing them in a new light, I'm taking a very quick survey. Audience, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at DuckMcGuck and tell me if giving yourself a lobotomy because you can't bear to think about your lover who sacrificed herself for you is actually really romantic or something you probably should have talked to God about before you did it.
Is this Sucker Punch? What is
This
this?
sounds like
No.
Shutter Island.
That's not Sucker Punch.
No, he doesn't give himself a lobotomy, I don't think.
I think they give them.
I think they're about to or
yeah,
something.
they do it.
Where can they contact you to have this discussion?
He told him.
Twitter
Oh,
and
did he?
Instagram at
Yeah.
DuckMcGuck.
Sorry, it was a very long statement and I got lost.
Yeah.
That
Holy
took a
moly.
turn.
I'm still talking a lot about Willow, but if you guys want to talk to me about Halle Bailey, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. I will not apologize for consistently talking about Willow.
Never apologize.
Never apologize. Never give in. Oh, and remember, check out The Little Mermaid in IMAX. Tune in next time. We will be reacting to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Talk about some cinema.
Also, I apologize in advance. We had technical difficulties on that one,
Yes, we
but
did.
it's still great.
Great movie. Great us. All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm not sure if we pissed off all the racists. So
I love that.
we're going to go around. Pick a Disney movie that would be better if the main character was played by a black person.
Oh, wait, give me a minute. they
I
already
mean,
did
that's
mine.
literally all of them, so...
Good answer.
You're not wrong. Robin Hood.
I like that.
We
I
did
like
that. Fancast, check that out.
Yes.
I've got so many in my head right now. The Black Cauldron or Atlantis.
Ooh.
I was thinking maybe Atlantis. That'll be fun. And
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to
sticking
go
with
with
Snow White because it's funny.
Oh, wait. Snow White is being played by a person of color, technically. She's played by a Latina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel Zegler.
And I'm going to go with a Goofy movie because we've been trying to claim it anyway.
That's fair.